Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Yeah, and we continue to work our way through Haydn. We have lots of Haydn to work our way through. First, oh, look at these. I think I have several of these. Haydn's lira concertos. These went with last video. The nocturnes, the nocturni, remember? These are the concertos for lira organizzata. There are 5 of them. And they were composed for the King of Naples, who was an absolute tyrant. He was a horrible human being. He was torturing his citizens and all that, which didn't mean anything in those days. And the lira organizzata was a bowed hurdy-gurdy, is what they say. It was like you turned a crank and a bow thing went and you picked notes out. It was supposed to sound just atrocious. So you could play these for a flute and oboe. Actually, it was for lira organizzata duos. But Haydn arranged them for flute and oboe as the solo instruments with a small chamber orchestra. And the 5 concerti are delightful. Now, the romance from the concerto in G major became the military movement and the military symphony, which is amazing. And Haydn didn't have to do very much to it. So it's fun to hear these. And they are charming. And he did use some of the movements from these concerti and other works too. Symphony number 89, I believe, or 90. One of those is based on one of these two. But you'd never know it. Music's fabulous, however you slice it. And these are lovely performances with Robert Doan and Lajos Lences, oboe, with the Slovak Chamber Orchestra under Bohdan Varchal on CPO. Yeah, great. Then we've got here the 24 Minuets. Now, we've talked about this one already. This is an extra recording I have, an extra copy I got, because when you could find these things, for some reason, Decca would accidentally release something interesting, and so you'd have to snag it while you could, and I would usually get a handful of them just to make sure I could keep one in every room of the house. So they were the 24 Minuets, but here is the other performance of them with the Capella Istropolitana under Peter Gut, with on CPO, and they're very good too. They're equally fine performances. This is 57 minutes of authentic, or 63 minutes, depending on who's conducting, of authentic, fabulous dance music. And one of the few and really the most elaborate surviving examples of the reams of dance music that Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven composed for the ballrooms of Vienna. So this is important. It's important, and there's something about it that seems like Haydn intended these to survive, because most of that stuff was just thrown away. It was trashed after people danced to it. But there's something about this cycle of minuets that seems to be integral, kind of like the Slavonic dances or something like that by Dvorak. They're meant to go together, and you can play them as a cycle, and they're awfully interesting and entertaining. Haydn was such an amazing minuet composer, so those are really worth hearing if you can get your hands on them. Then we've got more nocturni for the King of Naples, in this case with Mozzafiato and L'Archibudelli on Sony. This is Sony, whichever that series was called, Vivarte. Yes, Sony Vivarte. So you've got the 8 nocturni for the King of Naples, which we've just talked about. So you've got multiple recordings to choose from, assuming you can find all of them, which is these days, that's why I have an overflow room. That's why I saved all this stuff, because it's some of it may be available streaming, but in the insane random world that is the quantum classical universe, it's best just to hang on to it if you can, because you never know where it's gonna disappear, turn up, or what's gonna happen. And now I have it for reference purposes, which is really important. Oh, look. Yes, the Schlierbacher Kammer Orchestra under Thomas Fey and Gerrit Zitterbart piano playing Haydn piano concertos. And these are the big ones, the biggies, numbers 4, 5. 4 is the second big one, and 5 is the big one. It's number 5. It's concerto number 4 and concerto number 11. Those are the big ones. G major and D major. And the D major has the Hungarian rondo finale. Dum ba da da dum ba 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 bum ba da da dum dum ba da da dum ba ba bum ba da da dum bum. Oh, it's delightful. And also number 3. So you've got 3, 4, and 11, and they're serious works. They're on a major scale, 20 minutes long. I mean, they're not fluff. And they're very, very enjoyable. I mean, the number 11 is wonderful, of course. I've seen it perform many times. The last time I saw it was with Alicia de la Rocha, who recorded it and did a lovely job with it. She played that in Nights in the Gardens of Spain. It was her farewell to the New York Philharmonic. She was retiring, and it was just such a lovely concert. But anyway, these are wonderful performances. They're on a regular piano, and they sound exciting, and it's really, really lots of fun. They're on Hensler, if you can still find those. And then more piano concertos, this time with Emanuel Ax. And good for him. Emanuel Ax always promoted Haydn. He did a passel of sonatas, and he did these concerti, and he does them extremely beautifully. They're the same ones that are on the Hensler recording. Those are more period instrumenty. The tempi are quicker, much quicker. In some instances, I don't think they need to be much quicker, honestly. And we've got, it's with the Franz Liszt Chamber Orchestra, and Ax is the conductor and pianist, and he does it very, very well. Haydn's piano concerti have been very well served on disc. It's just that nobody knows or cares, but they're out there, and they sound pretty terrific. You should get to know them. He wasn't a concerto composer the way Mozart was. We not kid ourselves, but he was very, very good, and they're delightful works. They are not, the mega masterpieces that Mozart's late works are, but they're awfully, awfully entertaining, and I'll take that. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.